In the scam home warranty business, the people are represented by two separate but equally lazy groups: the authorization agents who deny claims and smoke like chimneys, and the technicians who lie through their teeth to snag a few extra bucks. These are their stories. Welcome and thank you for joining us here again today for the top 5 HVAC stories, part 2. Story number 5: the quadruple cheese pizza and the banging AC. Domino's sells a Wisconsin 6-cheese pizza, but also lets you custom make your own pizza with 6 cheeses to choose from. Well, 5, because you can't really count the default mozzarella. So one day, for no particular reason, I ordered one of each to see if they came out looking and tasting different. Hypothetically, these would be superficial differences in how and when they were cooked, and it's possible they cooked the premium Wisconsin pie differently on purpose. The Saturday dragged on slowly as I waited for the pizzas. Knowing approximately where the actual store is in relation to scam home warranty meant that I could predict better than the pizza tracker, since GPS doesn't exactly work at all near the building. My calculations proved spot on as I was outside lighting up a Newport on break when I caught sight of the car entering the parking lot. When I returned to my desk and opened the boxes, I found to my shock the Wisconsin to be more appetizing looking and felt a bit heavier, but they tasted quite similarly. If anything, the custom pizza tasted better, but all I was really doing was taking bites in between calls. Also, I got very lazy with my unscientific efforts and ended up eating the custom as it was on the top of the boxes. I had a technician in Alabama coming online as I finished up a slice. Scam home warranty, the Mad King and Queen here. Got a claim for me? Technician responded, "Yeah, it's claim number. I'm out here with the unit." I said, "Okay, what's the make, model, and serial of the unit?" Technician responded, "We got a Goodyear, 5 years old, 410A refrigerant, model number, serial number, and the other 14 questions we ask on every AC unit." I responded, "Thank you. What's the problem with the unit today?" Technician responded, "It's making a banging noise, according to the customer. I came out and got the cover off this thing and found one of the screws loose on a mount and the fan was off balance. I tightened it all up and no noise anymore." I said, "Well, that was easy." Technician said, "Yes, it was. Could use a new capacitor, however, but the mechanical stuff is good to go." I looked up the technician's guide price and said, "I see you're on guide for $125 for a capacitor." Tech said, "Yes, I'll need a half hour on top since there was no service call pickup. Looking at 165 for today. We'll get it done." I responded, "Sure, I have your auth right here. How do you want it?" The tech said, "Read it off to me. I'll grab a cap from the truck." I gave him the authorization number. The technician thanked me for it and said, "You have a good one." I told him, "You too." Epilogue to this story is I don't recall ever seeing that unit again. I'm not really sure how those two parts got loose. Maybe it was a factory defect or something. The unit was still quite young, so it couldn't happen normally. Story number 4: the buried blower motor and the red Skittles. Only one thing worse than the price of a giant bag of red Skittles that was sitting outside of my door when I got home was the knowledge of how many would be missing before I ever set foot in the office. With a smile so blood red it would make Marilyn Monroe think twice before wearing it, I ran into the office at the start of my shift. Original plans to ration myself to a small cup of the candied treasure were thrown out the window like a lit cigarette on the turnpike. Riding a wave of happiness and guilt, I picked up the phone once more. "Scam home warranty, the Mad King and Queen here. Got a claim for me to do for you?" Technician responded, "You sound like you're in as much of a hurry as I am," giving me the claim number. I said, "Mrs. Smith's AC unit?" Technician said, "Yep, blower motor failed." I responded with the make, model, and serial. Technician said, "We have a Ream here, 5 years old, model number, serial number, and the other 14 questions we ask on every AC unit." I finally asked, "Why did the blower motor fail?" The technician said, "It's old." I said, "It's 5 years old." The technician said, "It's normal." I asked him how dirty it was, and he just sighed in response. So I asked him if he could send in a picture to the Google phone, and the technician said, "Sure, whatever, give me the number." I responded with the number for the Google phone and waited. While the tech walked inside, I helped myself to another spoonful of Skittles and tap danced my way into an early grave. The ding on the phone had me scrambling to attach the picture to the claim as fast as it came in. Technician said dejectedly, "I bet you're going to kill this then." I said, "I have to." He said, "Don't you want to know the price?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead." Technician said, "$325 for the job installed before the customer service call fee of $75 is taken out." I said, "Okay, I'm going to kill this not normal then." He said, "Great. Just great." I said, I'll have customer service deliver the denial. You're good to bill out for the claim when you're ready. You have a good day. Tech said, yeah, you too, and clicked off the phone. I tasked the following to customer service. Call customer and inform not a covered claim. Blower motor has failed due to being covered in dust, smothering the unit, causing it to fail. Per A2, this is not normal, confirmed by pictures. I then wrote an internal auth note not to read. Unit is in the closet that is beyond filthy, has never been cleaned, causing it to choke to death in only 5 years. This is nowhere near normal. Even in an unventilated attic, this unit could have lasted twice as long. Epilogue. The customer cleaned up the closet, appealed the denial with her own tech, and got us to cover it by going to retention despite us having clear pictures proving the unit was ruined. She did get our cost on the blower motor, $200, which was less than half of what she paid the tech, and possibly a professional cleaner to get into the closet back into a livable condition. Or she took a picture of another unit. I don't know. It didn't come back to me. It stayed in retention. I would have killed it anyway. The first picture proved everything auth had to say on the unit in question. Story number 3, the egg sandwich and the dented compressor. I went out of my way one morning to hit Wawa for one reason. I wanted a breakfast sandwich on a hoagie roll. The egg and cheese were still warm. When I pulled into the parking deck, I had my first bite in the elevator, finishing it entirely before my first call ever had a chance to ring. Later in the day, right as I was about to clock out for my break, my phone rang before I could hit the button, and with a feeling of dread and resentment, I put it through my headset. Scam home warranty to Mad King and Queen here. Got a claim for me? Technician said, yes, claim number here. I was at the place earlier today. I said, okay, so we have a Rheem AC unit, right? Technician said, yes, about 15-year-old R22, model and serial number when you're ready. I said, I am. Technician responded with a model and serial number, mentioning it was a 3-ton, and answered the other 14 questions we ask on every AC claim. After typing up the diagnosis, I asked the tech, okay, so what's our failure? Technician responded, the unit is taking a long time to cool the home. Customers state this problem has been getting worse every season, but this time it was too much to bear. I asked, so what is it, low on Freon or something? He said, yes, low on Freon, but also the fins are dented to hell. I asked how that happened. He said, hail. We had a pretty bad storm a few years back, and it looked like this unit got hit hard way back then and has been limping along ever since. The leak seems to be unrelated, though. So I said, you have to replace the compressor and do a leak search? Yes, and I know you won't cover either of those things, so I went on with my day. I said, yeah, good move. I'll have customer service call in with the denial. Tech said, hey, you have a good one, and then clicked off the line. Task to customer service. Call customer and inform not a covered claim. The compressor has suffered damage due to hail and must be replaced. Additionally, there is a Freon leak which requires a leak search. Per C1, leak searches are excluded, and per D7, damage due to hail is also excluded. Internal auth note, do not read. Hail that damaged the unit happened years before the policy came into effect. The epilogue of the claim is that retention covered the leak search to keep the policy, but we found the evap coils were rusted to death and killed the unit that way as well. Customer did keep the policy for some reason, but that AC unit was never serviced by Scam Home Warranty again. Story number 2. So, what do you cover? The tech who tried to trick me into saying something they needed to hear. One Saturday morning, I'm sitting at my desk, idly mixing up a bowl of brown sugar oatmeal I put together with some hot water from the coffee machine when the clock rolls over to 9 a.m. exactly. There is silence in the building. Some of us are looking at each other confused. I am stunned. Not a single phone ringing? Oh, this is gonna be, and then I was cut off as every phone in auth started ringing instantly. The system was like 15 seconds slow for the first time ever, and it was with a tinge of relief that I picked up my own phone. Scam Home Warranty to Mad King and Queen here. Got a claim we can look at? Yeah, it's claim number, responded the technician. I asked, are you Charlie's HVAC of New Orleans? The technician responded the same. Okay, so I'm showing this to be a denied claim. Technician said, yeah, that's why I called in. Customer left me multiple voicemails last night saying we needed to call you immediately. I don't answer my phone after hours, so this is the soonest I could do it. I said, because I already knew where this call was going. Technician said, she's thinking we messed up the paperwork. I asked, how so? Tech said, tell me what the diagnosis is. She says it's different from the one we gave her on the invoice. I pulled up the diagnosis. 1/4 horsepower condensing fan motor on the unit has failed. Tech said, okay. Now I'm wondering something. I said, go ahead. Tech said, do y'all not cover condensing fan motors? I said, we cover that. The tech asked, do y'all not cover failures due to normal wear and tear? I said, we cover that. Tech says, interesting. My invoice says the condensing fan motor failed to normal wear and tear. What does yours say? I said, the invoice says the same thing on our end. Tech said, well, then why isn't this a covered failure if it's a condensing fan motor that failed from normal wear and tear? I responded, because pictures prove the failure was due to lack of maintenance. Claim was denied for that reason. The tech responded snidely, you say lack of maintenance, but I say normal wear and tear. I've been doing this since I was a teenager. How many years did you work HVAC? I responded, that's not applicable to the claim, unfortunately. Picture shows the unit was impacted with dirt and leaves, causing it to fail. Tech said, don't lie to me. This claim is getting settled right now. What does she have to do to get this claim covered? I responded, well, she can appeal the denial with a second opinion. Tech said, that's what I'm doing right now. I explained, the second opinion would be with the new technician. She would have to prove the previous tech misdiagnosed the unit. Tech said, yes, I misdiagnosed the unit. I said, so it wasn't the condensing fan motor that failed? Tech said, no, it was the other thing. The other part that you actually do cover. I asked, what other part? He said, you tell me. I responded, how would I know? You're just arguing some other part failed, but it was a covered part. That seems suspect and vague. He said, read off the coverage section for AC units. I said, no, that won't resolve the issue we're having. He said, then cover the claim. I said, we don't cover failures due to lack of maintenance. So what do you cover? This is a waste of my time. Y'all need to cover this right here and now. I explained yet again if the customer wishes to appeal, and the technician hung up before I could finish the sentence. Epilogue. Based on notes from the claim that were brought to my attention by my boss, the customer was in the room with the tech and they came up with some random story of me changing the invoice or diagnosis to force a denial. I pointed out that the diagnosis had not been changed since it was put in the first time, and aside from my notes on the claim regarding the call, no other changes were made to it. My boss agreed with me, but he just wanted to make me aware that they were changing the story after the fact. It never went beyond that. You can dance around a denial and pull cards out of thin air, but that claim was staying denied. Story number 1. The overambitious walnuts and the backed up heat pump. Sunday night, December 3rd, 1995, The Simpsons' 138th episode Spectacular aired on Hvac. I sat with a mountain of walnuts on one side of the table and a growing pile of shells on the other, while my two kitties kept me company and I poorly wielded a tiny metal nutcracker to make my dinner. Decades later, those cats may be long gone and that tiny shack I lived in replaced by a condo, but my fondness for walnuts has never failed. When I saw walnut chunks were on sale at ShopRite one Saturday morning in August, I grabbed one of the self-serve bags and poured out a solid pound of the tree nuts to complement my basket of goodies. Later in the day, I relinquished the remainder of the bag to an especially grateful coworker who walked in the office reeking of bad decisions the night previous. A call from Texas reverberated in my head until I pressed the button, bringing a tech on the line. Scam home warranty, the Mad King and Queen here. Got a claim for me today? Technician responded with the correct claim number. I confirmed you're at the customer's house right now? Tech said, yes, I'm in his attic. I asked if he had the model and serial and the rest of the details. He said, yes, we have a 7-year-old Bream here, 14A system, model number, serial number, and the other 14 questions we ask on every AC unit. I said, okay, so what's the failure of the unit today? Technician said, yeah, the drain line is backing up pretty bad. I asked if he could hit it with nitrogen, and he said he already did. I asked if it was working now, and he said, yes, but it's a temporary fix. I asked why it was a temporary fix, and the tech responded, the drain pan is cracked and the line is kind of in tatters somewhere in the wall, causing it to leak. I asked him which wall, and he said the hallway off of the kitchen. I said, okay, I can kill everything but the nitrogen. The tech said, all right, my cost is $150 to blow out the line. I asked if it was a zero collect, and he said, yeah, this was a reassign or something. I looked into the previous claim, and I said, oh, so the last tech said it was low on Freon, collected the service call fee, and never came back. Tech said, hey, what an ass. I agree, I said. He even said it was R22, but you're saying it's 410A, so he didn't even get anything right on the unit. The technician laughed in response. I said, okay, I got your auth right here. You want me to text it to you? Tech said, can you send it to my boss instead? I'll be here a bit, and I think they'll pay me out of pocket to fix the line. I said, yeah, sure, not a problem. What's your boss's? And the tech gave me his number, and I said, great. I'm going to go ahead and text your boss, and after doing so, I told him done. Tech said, hey, you have a good one. I told him you too, and clicked off the line. I tasked the following to customer service: call customer and inform partially covered claim. Tech reports drain line to be backing up, was able to clear with nitrogen, and that is covered. However, the line is also leaking and the drain pan is cracked. Per C1, neither of those two items are covered. Internal auth note do not read. Customer might already know the decision. Task the following to vendor relations: pull previous tech service call fee from account. Tech lied to customer and scam home warranty staff about failure to buy time on the claim. The epilogue to the claim is that wasn't the only time the tech ripped off a customer, and he had something like 2 other techs following his claims around, cleaning up his dirty work. Wish I could remember his name like I remember when Professor Lawrence Pierce of the University of Chicago wrote, "I think Homer gets stupider every year." But then again, we only remember the important things, right? And thank you once again for joining us here for Scam Home Warranty's newest Top 5 HVAC Stories video. I want to thank all of our supporters over on Patreon, D_B, for being with us from the very beginning. I'd like to remind all of you that you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to help this channel grow and to spread awareness about the dangers of home warranty companies and the scammers that work there, including myself once upon a time long ago. If you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter or Instagram. We also have a Twitch and a Discord linked below. As already said, there is a Patreon. But this was another compilation of Reddit stories. There will be links to each story if you want to read them individually on Reddit where they were originally posted months ago. There will also be a new subscriber poll on Reddit as you are reading this or watching this in the very near future, so watch out for that. And I want to just give a special thank you to everybody on Reddit with the newest comments, awards, and of course the upvotes, because they have been really helping me out lately. So thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.